Welcome to NFL Betting Blitz. Get ready for expert betting previews for the AFC and NFC championship games from your host, Wade and Eric. Hello, dude. I have no idea what's going on with my computer. I got like speakers playing out. Dude, I have no idea what's going on. I tried to get all fancy, trying to do new intros, and this is what happens. Welcome to NFL Betting Blitz. As you see, Gino is not here. Gino was down in Florida at Gulfstream Park for the Pegasus Millions, doing some work for DFF. So Wade, who's on the injured reserve, he's playing sick today. He is here. Wade, besides being on your deathbed, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing all right. Glad to be here. Excited for these games, man. So let's get into it.
So we have the appetizer, if you will. The Eagles against the Commanders. What say you? What are your thoughts on this game? Do you have any bets or anything?
Yeah, I've got a couple here. Yeah, it's just really tough to go against the Eagles in this spot, especially at home. I just really give their defense, I guess, the biggest edge in this game. I do have them parlayed in a money line. I took the Eagles money line and I paired that with the Bills +7. Got that for -119 on ESPN. I am also on Jaden Daniels over 21.5 pass completions. That was +100 on Caesars. And then I also have, I guess I got multiple bets, man. I've got Eckler to get 25+ receiving yards, and I've got a parlay of Eckler 3+ receptions with Kelsey to get 50+ receptions as my parlay of the week. So I think it's going to be a really close game, as we've obviously seen these both teams have beat each other. I think Washington is not going to be afraid to come in and play this team. But ultimately, I just think the running game of the Eagles, I just think they'll be able to sustain that all game, even if they only get, I definitely think they'll stall some drives out. I haven't taken the kicker for the Eagles to go over two field goals, but I actually think that's a pretty good play. I saw it was plus money last night. It's tough. I would love to see Jaden Daniels go in there and win this game. That's what I truly want. But I just think the Eagles' defense is going to be too much here. I just think they have too many dogs on the defensive line. And I know people keep talking about how the Commanders' defense is the weakest unit on the field, even though they've done really well in the playoffs so far. It's just tough to think that they won't allow the Eagles to at least find like 24, 28 points here. And I don't know. It's to think they're going to have another 36-33 game. I don't think I see that in the playoffs. I think the defense is going to hold a little tighter. So I see more of like a 28-21 type of game for the Eagles. So yeah, I've got those props, and I think the Eagles will pull this out and win the money line. So
I look at it. I have 3 bets in this game. Bet number 1, I'm with you. I took the Eagles -6. We got the historical trends that favor the favorite. The divisional round underdogs perform poorly. ATS. Also, road dogs in the division in this round that are between 4 and 7 points in the championship round. 35% ATS the last 20 years. Teams playing their 4th straight game. 1-5-1 ATS this round. Teams on a 7-game winning streak, such as the Commanders, 4-11 ATS this round. Teams on back-to-back road games in this round are 48% ATS. I mean, I just think the Commanders' defense run is a huge liability. 29th PFF, 26th DVOA, 23rd in adjusted yards. And the big one that sticks out to me is their 31st and second level yards allowed. What exactly is that? That's in runs over 5 and 10 yards. This defense really does struggle. When we look at the Eagles, 211 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, game 1, 228 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, game 2. Washington allowed 8.7 yards per carry against the Lions last week. The Lions just ran the ball. They probably would have won the game. Then we look at the Eagles last week. They dominated the Rams. They should have won that game by 20 points. A.J. Brown dropped a 40-yard touchdown pass, failed to score from the 1-yard line. Jake Elliott missed 2 extra points. They had 2 sacks that pushed them out of field goal range. Sirianni's questionable. time management decision at the end of the first half, playing for the Hail Mary instead of trying to get the yards back after the sack. All that being said, they were still up 13 with 2:36 left to play. All that being said, Commanders did lose their best offensive lineman. Carter's going to eat. This is going to force the Commanders to double team Carter, maybe even triple team. This is going to open up some lanes for others on that defensive front. I think Vic Fangio is one of the best DCs in the game. I think he's going to be able to exploit what Jalen Daniels can't do. And I said it, I hinted at it earlier, buying low, selling high. 33 million people saw the Commanders upset the Lions. Not as many, I think it was like 15, 16 million watched the Eagles game. And they're seeing the box score. Oh, Eagles only won by 6. But if you really watch the game, Eagles should have won that by 20 plus. And then I did A.J. Brown over 59.5 receiving yards. Commanders 20th DVOA against the pass, 22nd DVOA defending wide receiver ones. PFF coverage grade of 29th in the league. He's going to be covered by Lattimore, PFF graded 61.1, ranked 75th out of 118, or Mike Sorrelston, PFF graded 67.7, ranked 47 out of 118. Both are below average or average defenders at best. When we look at Brown against what the Commanders run, they run a mix of man and zone. Brown, third PFF against man wide receiver, 11th PFF graded wide receiver against zone. This season against the Commanders averaged 6.5 receptions and 81 yards per game, exceeded the 59.5 yards in both matchups. Against Quinn's defensive schemes in his career, 6 games, averaging 82 yards per game, exceeding this total in every game. Last 4 games of the regular season's opponents, wide receiver ones went over this total against the Commanders. The only one that didn't, MVS, and that's when he had Spencer Rattler. During that time, opposing wide receivers averaged 91.25 yards. Playoffs this season, opposing wide receiver ones have gone over 59.5 yards both games. Mike Evans, 7 for 96. St. Brown, 8 for 137. And I'm just like you. I got Eckler, but I got Eckler at 23.5 receiving yards. 4th on the Commanders in targets, 3rd receptions, 3rd in receiving yards. He's gone over this total in both playoff games, averaging 33.5 yards per game. Eckler has surpassed this in 8 of the 14 games he's played this season, including playoffs and regular season, averaging 31 yards both games. This is a negative game script. Eckler is more likely to see increased playing snaps as he's better in pass pro and the third and the passing down back. I just think this is a great matchup. And I just think the books have just been awful at pricing Eckler. So I'm on Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't really understand why they have even his receptions. I thought were a little wild. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. I definitely think his line should be set more like, I don't know, 30, 35.5, something in that range. It should definitely not be in the 20s.
It makes 0 sense. And like, what's the best way to compact a good pass rush? Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. That's swing passes and screen passes.
I do worry, though, that Kyron Williams had 19 carries last week. Robinson had, I believe, 15 or 16 last week. So I don't know. I am a little worried that Robinson's going to play more than everybody thinks, just because if they find success running, I think they're going to continue to run the ball with Robinson, and that's going to take Eckler's snap share away. So I guess we'll see. But I still like him. I mean, heck, he gets 1 or 2 catches. He can easily get 25 yards. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I always feel that snow games are better for the over because the offense doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I think.
What's the weather supposed to be like for this game?
36.
No weather. No snow.
Light wind.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams offensive line is a little better than the Commanders. I don't know. I'm just not. And I'll be honest, like I said it last week, I'm going to be betting the Commanders under total in everything next year. I'm going to bet them not to make the playoffs. Every under total in the world for them. Let's shift our attention over to the granddaddy today, the AFC Championship game. We have the Buffalo Bills going to Arrowhead. What say you, my friend?
I I actually think the Bills are going to win this. I put a little money on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, so I'm not telling people to go do that because I actually took the Bills +7. I think it's just crazy to go against Mahomes and Reed in the playoffs. They just seem to find a way, so it's really tough to go against them. But I just have a feeling that Josh Allen's going to find a way somehow this game. Curtis Samuel over 1.5 receptions was my top play for this game. If Kansas City doesn't attempt to slow down Shakir, I definitely think it could be a long day for their defense. And I think with them targeting Shakir, keeping him in front of them, not allowing explosive plays, and then spying on Allen's legs, I think it's going to open up opportunities for other people. Curtis Samuel has quietly averaged 2.2 receptions this season with a median of 2. His median actually goes up to 3 over their last 5 games on the road, cashing 4 over the last 5 games. And he's also had 5 receptions on 6 targets against the Chiefs back in November. Samuel's also cashed this line in 3 straight games, 4 of his last 5 and 6 of his last 8 overall. So for him to get 2 receptions, I think Allen's going to have a lot of short, quick passes. I think he can exploit the middle of the Chiefs defense here a little bit. And I think that's a pretty solid play. Odds on that one that I got was -125, but I know that's ballooned up to like -140 or -145. Other places, I'm trying to think if I have any other plays in this game right now. I don't, other than the Bills +7, the Curtis Samuel over 1.5 receptions, and then I paired that Travis Kelce to get 50+ receiving yards with Eckler to get 3 receptions. Kelce's obviously had what is he at 14 straight games in the playoffs with at least 100 yards. So and obviously he's coming off a game against the Bills where he only had 8 yards. The 3 previous games before that, I believe he hit 50 in each of those. So I think this is a good bounce back spot for him, looking to get back a little bit back at Buffalo. And then obviously the playoffs, last 2 games, he's had 84 and 117. So to get 50 yards and pair that with Eckler 3 receptions to get plus money, I like that pairing. So yeah, that's kind of my gist. I just think there's a play that I haven't taken yet. I think the over in this game. I don't know how you feel about totals in this game, but I do think the over. I think we can get a couple third, fourth quarter scores here. I just see a back and forth here. I really like both defenses actually, but I think both offenses are just going to find success in this game. They usually seem to play each other pretty well. Offenses find success. Yeah, I like the over in this game. Haven't taken it, but I think it's a good look.
Any first touchdown bets? I mean, if I had to pick.
Yeah, I was thinking if I had to pick. I don't have any.
If I had to pick the Eagles game, I mean, realistically, probably Barkley. But if I were to bet it, I'd probably bet A.J. Brown.
I like one of the pass catchers. I don't know if I'd go Brown. He's been so out of it the last few weeks, but maybe this is the week he finally wakes up.
And then
I like one of the running backs on the Chiefs to score first. They always just seem people like to take Kelce. People like to take I don't know. I guess they don't know if they take Worthy or not, but I like Pacheco probably here. Chiefs find success on the ground. They usually tend to win games, and I think when they get in the red zone, they're gonna go to the running game.
And I mean, I would probably take Shakir. He's due for one with how many targets he gets.
Not bad.
This game. Now, perfect world for me. My Eagles 15-1 and my Bills 9-1 meet in the Super Bowl, and I can just sit back and smoke a cigar because I'm winning money either way.
That'd be awesome.
But this game is tough for me because when we look at the trends, Mahomes is 14-7 ATS in the playoff and regular season in games when the spread is 3 or less. Now, there has been 34 times that Josh Allen has faced a defense that has allowed 20 points or less in his career. He's a casual 26-7-1 in those games against the number. Pretty effing good. In the second half for his career, best ever. Last 20 years, 74, 45, and 3, 62%. Can the Bills defense contain the Chiefs underneath passing game, especially Kelce, who has dominated Buffalo in the playoffs? Will the Chiefs' 9th rated DVOA run defense be able to stop the Bills' rushing attack? can the Bills handle Chris Jones? I feel that this game, a team's going to win by 3 points. And I feel that you're going to have insane line betting opportunities. I was able to get the Ravens plus 7.5 last week live.
Yeah, I think this is a good game. I didn't mention that. This is a really good game for a live bet, I think.
And I think, and like those who don't know, like Wade has a Discord, which is great. He puts in live bets, puts in his bets and everything. I try to remember to do it when my old ass can't remember to do it, to put bets in there. So if I have a live bet, I will definitely put it in his Discord as well. Link to that will be in the description. Make sure to check that out. Second half, if they get the Bills at a good number, I may look at the Bills just because Allen's been so good. But I just did 2 props. Call me a homer. I did Travis Kelce over 68.5 yards receiving. Yeah. 7 for $1.17 last week. Because see this total in 4 of his last 5 games against the Bills, averaging 5.8 receptions, 74 yards in those games. In the 23 career playoffs games, he's gone over this in 17 of them. The last game he did not go over this total was in the Super Bowl against the 49ers in 2020. So that's 14 consecutive. Isaiah Likely recorded 4 receptions, 75 yards against the Bills last week. The Bills ranked top 12 in receptions allowed to tight ends. Bills run zone coverage the 9th highest rate. This is going to allow Kelce opportunities to exploit gaps in the defense. He's either going to be guarded by Johnson, 56.8 DVOA. PFF grade. Bernard, 37.4 PFF, or Milano, 50.3. And 2 of these 3 guys are banged up. We don't even know if they're going to play. So it's going to be a great matchup for him. And then I also did Dalton Kincaid over 33.5. Chiefs struggle against the tight ends. Kansas City has allowed the most yards per game to opposing tight ends, 70.8 per game. Over the last 10 games, 9 of the last 10 tight ends have surpassed this total. The only exception being Jordan Akins of the Browns, who finished with 30. Last year, Kincaid had 4 for 45 against him in the playoffs. When they placed earlier this season, Kincaid didn't play, but Dawson Knox had 40 yards against the Chiefs. I just think, like you said, they're going to look to take away Shakir. This is going to leave some stuff open for Kincaid. So I really like good old Dalton Kincaid over 33.5. Real quick, some housekeeping stuff. I told everyone I'd do my DFS lineups today. So now, fairness, I did a 50-50, and the 50-50 entry is different than my Millionaire Maker entry. So 50-50, you just want to get the good base, score higher than 50 to get your nut back. So obviously, you have to go with a lot of the chalk here. Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, wide receivers, Dwami Brown, Shakir, Worthy, tight end Kelce, flex Kincaid, Eagles defense. Now, in the Millionaire Maker, my lineup is completely different because you have to think left field and try to beat the general public. Jalen Hurts coming off an awful game. So I did Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Running backs did Eckler and James Cook. Wide receiver positions, A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. Tight end position, Zach Ertz. Flex position, Dalton Kincaid. And I did the Chiefs defense. So try to think a little outside of the box there. And we have to bring up our Boom Fantasy entry. The Boom Fantasy entry today, very basic. Austin Eckler over the 25.5 yards receiving, and Dalton Kincaid over 31.5 yards receiving. Those watching on YouTube, you have the little QR code. You can do it right there. Boom. That's it, man. Wade.
I like that.
I'd like to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your day to talk a little NFL. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, just come find me over at Top Flight Wagers. That's on X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Most of my content's on X these days, but yeah, come check us out. Got a link in the description for the Discord to come join us. You can get premium bets there. You can get free bets there from multiple cappers. We've all been cashing the last couple of weeks, so you guys are could be joining in some nice profits. So come join us.
You're not on Blue Sky?
What?
You're not on Blue Sky yet?
No.
Dude. I'm on Blue Sky. I got talked in. I got peer pressured into it. I got peer pressured into it. Yeah, make sure to check it out. Wade will be on my podcast later in the week. Big UFC card in Dubai, I want to say. So make sure to check that out. And best of luck in your bets. And we'll talk soon, my friend.
See you guys.